Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Fahd Dawood. I talk about real estate globally, Dubai sometimes, very specifically, and your life and my life and our path to financial bliss. Look, when we're talking real estate, we're talking always buyers who are looking to buy at great prices, and we're looking at sellers who are looking to sell, hopefully, at great prices. But the real estate market goes up and down. And for the last about 4 years in the Dubai market specifically, it's the buyers who've had the advantage. They're the ones with the power. They're the ones who generally dictated the terms to an extent. Now, in certain circumstances, sellers do have an advantage, but in Dubai specifically, we've had kind of like a buyer's market since 2014, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, hey, that's about 6 years, and now 20, which is we're in the corona situation, right? Now, just to give you a little bit of a hint, when the buyers are in power, they generally dictate the terms, they dictate the prices, and sometimes they even dictate the fees, right? So, in any transaction in Dubai, you're looking at about a 6% extra transactional cost. If you're buying directly from the developer, that cost goes down to about, in some instances, 4%, some instances, 0%. But when you're buying a ready unit from the resale market, that cost is around 6 to 7%. 2009 and 2010, when the market was completely gone to shit, the world over, Dubai being no exception, the buyers were even able to split the 6%. Like right now, the buyers are still majorly paying the 6 to 7% on the resale units. But in 2009, 2010, the buyers were able to force the sellers and say, look, you're going to have to take half the transactional costs to close the deal. Now, I always think that this doesn't really matter a lot because it's kind of like you hold the nose from this side or this side, because when buyers are making the final transaction, they're always looking at how much am I actually paying. And when sellers are actually selling, they're always looking at how much are they ending up getting as net into their pocket, right? So I think it doesn't matter. However, okay, coming back to this 6 to 7 years, we've been in a kind of like a buyer's market. I want to share a story with you of a friend, a mentor of mine, who approached me in 2017 with a very particular thing. And he asked me, look, what do you think should be the price of my 4-bedroom apartment, 4-4, in a prime area of Dubai? Now, before I go on with this story, I want to ask you a question, okay? What's the best thing that can happen to a seller who's looking to sell a property, okay? What's the worst thing that can happen? What's your opinion? Put it in the comments below. Here's mine. The best thing that can happen to a seller who's looking to sell a property is essentially sell it super efficiently, so without any hassles, at the best terms possible so he can get the money super fast, and at the best market price. Now notice I didn't say the highest price, I said best market price, okay? What's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen to a seller, in my personal opinion, is him fraudulently losing out on his property. Like there's somebody coming in and maybe taking over his property. This happens in the third world a lot. Dubai, not so much. It can't really happen because Dubai's regulatory framework's pretty tight. But fraud happens all over the world, so no country is an exception. So the worst thing, in my opinion, would be the seller completely losing out his property to fraud and then having to go to court. But the second worst thing, in my opinion, that could happen to a seller is essentially having an inept agent giving him bad pricing evaluation and the seller remaining stubborn on his own pricing in his mind and thereby losing money to the market. So coming back to my friend's story, this is essentially what happened and what transpired in 2017, I think maybe 18. He approaches me and he's a good friend, somebody I've known for a long time, I think about 15 plus years. And he asks me, look, Fahd, I want to sell my 4-bedroom apartment. It's in a prime area of Dubai. What do you think should be the pricing evaluation? What do you think I can sell it at? Now, I knew that he wants to actually sell it at about 6.2, 6.3 million dirhams, which is about, let me calculate it for you, about $1.7 million. And I told him, with all the market data that I looked at, that your property will most likely sell about 4.7 million dirhams, right? Which was, he wanted 1.7, I'm telling you 1.2, which is about $500,000 difference, okay? $500,000 and 4.7, $500,000 and about 2 million dirhams different, which is a huge difference. But he decided not to listen to me, which is fine, right? Fair. I wouldn't touch his listing with a long pole, as long as something that would reach the moon, because sometimes you don't want to work with friends who are sellers because they're stubborn, they don't take your advice, and sometimes you don't want to work with friends just because you don't want to ruin the relationship. Fair enough. He essentially went to the market, burned through 2 agents, didn't take my advice, right? And this is what's going to happen with inexperienced agents. They'll take on a listing at a higher price just to take on the listing, right? Because they sometimes, they don't mean bad for the seller, they just don't know what they're doing, right? So seller wants 6.2 million or 1 dirhams or 1.7 million dollars, and they'll be like, yeah, it's okay, I'll get you that price. What ended up happening, he burned through 2 agents. Oh, by the way, this friend of mine, I didn't take on his listing, but I did tell him who is the preeminent specialist in that area and who he should deal with, right? He chose not to deal with that person at that time, and then he burned through 2 agents, I believe, 2 years of very valuable time. Market kept going down, and then this whole corona situation happened. Guess what? His property will today most likely sell about, I don't know, 3.9 million dirhams, right? So 3.9 divided by 3.67, he'll probably sell about $1 million today, okay? And he could have made, with my property estimation at that time, which was 4.7 million dirhams, and if he had gone to market, maybe negotiated a little bit, his property might have sold at 4.5 million, which would have been about $160,000 more than what he can get today, right? And not just that, we're in the midst of a corona. What's the lesson that we can learn? Look, smart people take lessons from their experiences, and super smart people take lessons from other people's stories and other people's experiences. And this is what I'm going to say to you guys. I've got a mentor of mine who spoke to me, and he said, look, Fahd, some of the sellers that I'm talking to, I mean, I'm asking them, he's telling them point blank, don't ask me for a pricing evaluation on your plot of land, which might be $20 million, on your apartment, on your Like, don't ask me for a pricing evaluation if you're not ready to hear the truth, because you might end up crying. Under the current circumstances, you're looking at pricing evaluations. I'm not going to say distressed, but be realistic, okay? And if you're ready, only then ask for it, and then go to the market with strong determination to sell. The market's tough. It's not as easy as you might think, especially if you're a seller in this environment. Listen to expert advice. There's a video, you can search it. It talks about sellers, how to sell in this market. I would recommend that you listen to it. It's got 8 or 9 points that if you could implement, I guarantee you could sell the property, not just in Dubai, in any market. So the reason I want to share this story with you was, look, sometimes experts give you pricing. I personally listen to them. I'd recommend that you do too. And you know what? Do extra homework. And if you go and listen to this video of mine, there's about 9 points. If you went through all of them, you would know that your agent or whoever, whichever expert you're listening to, is giving you accurate advice that's true, honest, and competent. Happy selling. If you're looking to buy, reach out to me, or if you're looking to sell as well. I'm reachable by WhatsApp for now. This number is going to change soon. It's going to be taken away from the World Wide Web. There's going to be a form that you're going to have to fill up to reach out to me, because I'm just getting so many inquiries now, and I love to work with everybody. So for now, you can still reach out to me by WhatsApp, or put it in the comment section. Left to answer general questions on YouTube so everybody can benefit. If you want to work specifically one-on-one with me, hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon. Happy to do that to to do that as well. Ciao for now. Talk to you on the other side. Bye.